Right, so just over a month to go before the release of Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade on PS5, and Square have just put out this, they're calling it the final trailer. So I haven't watched this yet, looking forward to it. Thought I'd watch it with you guys, then I'll take a couple of minutes off camera and just collect my thoughts before sharing those with you. So let's go ahead and watch the final trailer here.
So that thing, that's a whisper too, huh?
Looks a lot more like an arbiter of fate than the others.
We can beat them.
It's a fantastic looking game still, it really is. I mean, it was on PS4.
What the? I think it's coming this way.
Those 60 frames per second help a lot though, don't they?
What have you done?
Let's make it a night to remember. Now,
Let the hunt begin.
Oh, that's interesting then. So, yeah, Vice is going to be in the
Lend me
combat simulator.
Let us defy destiny together. Don't deny me. Embrace me.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but
Just hit me with it.
I'm gonna drop plate number 7.
They're gonna do what?
I did bring these. Wutai's famous decal.
Yeah, so the 2 chapters with Yuffie, the DLC editions, are going to be taking place concurrently with the story of the main game.
Or Condor?
Ah! Oh, this is what they were talking about. It is a proper mini-game, just as we expected, or suspected. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be based on the mini-game from the original game.
Wutai's finest deigned to join us.
I was Scarlet, director of advanced weaponry. It was one of her machines that killed Melfi.
Allow me to present the latest innovation in
Whoa.
Shinra battle armor.
What the?
This will be a memory to cherish for the rest of your
Scarlet's got her
lives.
own mech.
All 30 seconds of them.
Oh, yeah, I think Scarlet fans are going to be very happy with this. Ah, Ramu. I liked the fact his summon was very similar to the original game there.
You stand in my way.
Oh, who's this? Yeah, I hope Square you're not going all out on the spoilers here.
What in the?
Let the games begin.
Square wouldn't do that, would they?
This is just wrong.
Oh dear. Yes, well there's the actual trailer, then the final trailer for Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. And I've got to say the game's looking stunning. Before we talk about anything else, I'll just have to put that out there. It always was, of course, even on PS4, but being upped into 60 frames per second is definitely going to make a big difference, I feel. Oh, that's interesting. Just before we actually talk about the trailer. So, yeah, it is PlayStation 5 console exclusive. Now, we'd already known it hadn't been announced for other systems, but I believe this is the first time it's been officially announced that there's a limited timed exclusive going on here with PS5. If you look at that text at the bottom, it's available for at least 6 months on PS5 before being made available on other systems. Okay, so for those of you that have been waiting for PC release or Xbox release, there is hope. You just need to hold on a little while longer, but it looks like it is coming. For the rest of you, got a month to find a PS5 if you haven't got one already. Right, so the first thing I want to talk about is this Fort Condor board game, because this really was the big reveal in the trailer for me. Now, we did have mention of this in a recent interview. It was suggested that characters within the game are playing a Fort Condor board game. As soon as that was mentioned, you know, we said that's going to be a big mini game in the, you know, in Intergrade. And lo and behold, that's exactly what it's going to be. So, of course, the mini-game itself is looking very reminiscent of the original mini-game in Final Fantasy VII, but without actually having to travel to the physical location of Fort Condor. But as far as the basics go, it looks pretty much the same. That is, you recruit units onto the battlefield, and hopefully your units are strong enough to defeat the enemy's units. Now, in terms of the rest of the interface, obviously it's all completely different. This is a remake. These are full 3D graphics, and it looks absolutely amazing. I've got to say, it's a funny board game, this is. Perhaps a little bit too realistic for a board game, but hey, this is the world of Final Fantasy VII, so I'm sure we could expect nothing less. Now, clearly the gameplay here is going to be strategy focused. There's different enemy types. We've got ranged and tanks and melee damage and all of that good stuff. It looks like there's going to be buildings to defend and buildings to attack. I'm suspecting that perhaps there's going to be elements of tower defense or maybe League of Legends style MOBA gameplay here. I don't know. We got a very brief glimpse. The thing with Final Fantasy mini-games, for me, they tend to be either hit or miss. Some of them I absolutely love and will play the heck out of them. Seriously, I will complete them until there's no more progression to advance. And yet others, I will do what's necessary to advance the story and then never look back on them again. Obviously, I'm hoping there's going to be a lot of replayability here. And it does look intriguing. It really does. It looks like it could be a fun romp. But what do you think, based on these literally 2 or 3 seconds that we got to see of the Fort Condor board game, mini-game thing here? Is this going to entice you to be a little bit more excited towards Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade? There was a number of other reveals in the trailer as well, and one of my favourites has to be the new Magiteck armor that Scarlet has created for herself. Oh, this thing is absolutely phenomenal looking. Square have really knocked this one out of the park. I love the fact it's this vibrant red colour as well for Scarlet. What other colour would it be? But this thing's just going to be a joy to fight, and I know that a lot of people have got behind Scarlet with Final Fantasy VII Remake, and they love what Square have done with her character. So I do think a lot of people will be happy that she's going to be playing, it seems, at least at some point in the Intergrade DLC, quite a substantial role. Next up, we had Ramu showcased. Summon animation very reminiscent of the original Final Fantasy VII. So I'm not sure if Ramu's going to be the only summon present here or the only new summon. But hopefully not, you know, everybody loves their summons. And then finally, we got to look at this guy. This seems to be some kind of epic fight between Yuffie, Sonon, and whoever this is. And I've looked through some of the character sheets and whatnot, and I can't find out any information. So I do believe this is the first time he's been revealed. My first reaction, in fact, was, please don't be the final boss. You know, Square are known for spoiling their games in their trailers, and they do get told off for it. So hopefully they've learned a lesson, but we'll have to wait and see. But maybe I missed something. If you know who this is, then please do share in the comments. But there we have the final trailer for Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, which is releasing on PS5 June the 10th, so just over a month away. And don't forget, you do get a free upgrade if you already own the PS4 version, although that doesn't apply if you have a digital PS5 only, and well, the PS5 isn't digital, but doesn't play discs, you know what I mean. But you have a disc-based version of the PS4 game. Can't get the free upgrade then, otherwise you can, but you do have to pay separately for the intermission episode, which is Yuffie's DLC. I think it's about $20, but I will be covering it on the channel, of course, as it's released, and we can see what's new, what it's all about, and how it advances the story going into the rest of the project as we await news for Part 2. Also, it is worth mentioning and just reminding you guys that Square have said they're not going to be making a habit of DLC content, and that Yuffie's episode here is really a one-off in order to bring the game onto PS5. Just before we finish, it would be pretty neglectful of me not to at least mention my Twitch channel, where I am currently live streaming the original Final Fantasy VII, but with a whole bunch of mods, including graphical mods, the new threat gameplay mod. Having a ton of fun with that, so if you want to stop by and say hello, then that would be fantastic. But that's pretty much what I have for you today, so please don't forget to share your thoughts on the final trailer here down in the comments, and take care until next time. Bye, folks.